All right, welcome to the Evolution Podcast. And we're going to be talking about support. Something we talked about before was like people toxic that don't support you. And so we want to talk about actual, like what it looks like to be supported and give a little background around that. And just to preface this, there's something that happens that's very different from the average person to the person that grows up in like a first class family, a royal family, and whatever that might look like. And so the difference is how you're supported in that family. When you, like me, I grew up in a very poor. I don't know what level of poverty it was. I mean, we had food on the table, but essentially, lived in a trailer house is what we call them, and out in the country, and a lot of kids, and you buy the cheapest clothes. The food is all made. My mom stayed home the whole time. My dad worked. He was gone a lot. That was the small town, and this small town's very repressed, and so a lot of times you're in a fight. And so in school it was always, there was competition. There was who was more popular, who wasn't, who got made fun of, all these different things. Whereas in a upper level society, and a lot of times they won't show you this, like movies depict it inaccurately, stories, people generally depict this inaccurately, and they don't really necessarily want to share it, but it's also not, it's not dramatic, so it doesn't get attention. But the key is, when you are in a upper level society, in a well-trained family or well-trained environment, what happens is when everything you do, you get supported in, even if you fail, because you're taking action, you're making moves. They understand the process of how you learn, practice. You don't practice perfect every time, but you learn to practice perfect. Then once you practice perfect, then you learn to do it. Then once you do it, then you win. And what happens on the transverse is, we grow up, we get inside of doing something, and we decide to do something different or above the people that are raising us. Like my parents know this much, and if I try and go above them, they think I'm crazy, or whatever. And just a lot of bad behaviors that get confusing. And so then you're confused, and then you're fighting to win, instead of being celebrated to try. Very different dynamic happening in that. And so one of the things with my kids, as I raised them, it was always like, you don't say bad things ever. Like, even though once in a while something would slip out, you don't criticize the way they look, you don't criticize the way they talk, you don't criticize. When you see something not working, what you do is you give them the tools and education they need to develop in a normal, supportive environment. And I didn't have that. You didn't have that. And so it's like, yeah, my parents supported me in the senses that they essentially put food on the table. They would do certain things. My dad would never, he was a little mixed on, sometimes I'd say, oh, I want to do this. He'd be like, yeah, you could probably do that. And then other times he'd be like, you could tell he didn't agree, because he would just stay silent, which maybe is better than saying what he actually thought. I don't know, but it was his own fears that kind of held things back. And so as you go through, and now we're coaches, our job is literally to support people and celebrate people through their efforts. We don't necessarily celebrate people. Well, we do celebrate them for their wins, but we celebrate them just as much for every action that they take towards their dreams. So once you have a dream and you move in that direction, even a small, simple action should be celebrated. And it should be like, hey, good job. What did you learn? How, now that you've done that, what did you find? What did it show you? And keeping them from beating themselves up because they're trained to battle. For example, if someone asks, or I ask someone a question, they're like, I want to do blah 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 blah. Okay, great. What have you done so far? And I'm very direct. So he says, I want to make $1 million. Okay, how much money have you made so far? Like this year, how much have you made? Well, I've only done, and they start justifying. It's like, it was a simple answer. Just give me the freaking number. Why are you explaining? Well, because we're used to the battle of having to explain our position because we think that we're not supported. If you knew in that moment that you were supported, even if that number was $5, you'd be like, $5. And I'd be like, okay, and you think you can make 1 million. Okay, now tell me why. Why do you believe this? Because I'm just investigating. And that's part of the sporting process, not being like, you think are you crazy? That's what we're used to. as growing up, most of us. So it's this difference of what happens is we waste all this time justifying our position because of who we're around versus moving and getting around the people that just support us, that just give us ease of access to do that. So, you've gone through some of this, right? Like and finding the difference between the people that really support you and don't. Maybe give a little bit of an example of what you've experienced.
Um,
We're going to throw some parents under the bus. I can feel it already.
oh. I mean, I just know that, again, like when I want something or have a dream, I know that when I go to certain people, I'm not going to feel supported. It just is what it is. And so my experience is that when I know what I'm going to get from certain people, I just don't go to those people. I literally find other people, even if I just have to call random people on social media that I don't even really know. And I'm like, just tell me I'm doing a good thing. Like, help me move into the right direction. Right. Like, I don't.
Did you ever come across somebody that when you got around them, you just felt the support?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
I feel like I have always feel the support from people who are doing better than me in a sense.
Yeah, right. Kind of been there, done that.
Yeah. Because people with the mindset that nothing is impossible won't tear down your dreams.
Yeah.
And so it's like you immediately feel supported by them because there are no limits.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you're speaking to somebody where you don't feel supported, there's typically limits. Oh,
Yeah.
you can't do that. That's not possible.
Yeah, because they're limited in their own
They're
mind.
limited in their own mind. So,
And like we talked about before, it's like when a lot of times as you grow, it gets lonely. There's a saying that says it's lonely at the top. Well, temporarily. Like as you find your way to the top, there's moments of loneliness because you're removing yourself from one group of people to elevate yourself, and that until you meet those new people, it's kind of a hard transition because you're just kind of by yourself. And I think what happens a lot of times is when you start leveling up, these other people are at the top and they're excited to have more people because it can be lonely sometimes. So when they see somebody else doing the work and what's required to kind of get there, they're like, oh heck yeah, like yeah, come on here, let me help. And a lot of times it's like the lower class people think that the wealthy are almost stuck up, or they don't want to help or things like that. And it's like, well, not necessarily. They just don't have time to deal with your shit. Like they just don't. They know how to protect their energy and they just do this. But somebody that wants it and is working for it, they're typically more than happy to support and feel that. Like, so at what point in your life did you have like somebody supported you in a much different way and it was like, whoa, do you ever have like any defining moments like that stand out for you?
I mean, the first thing that really pops out, and I don't really know, I've never really thought about this too much or spoke about it too much, but just like um when I was married compared to the relationship that I'm in now, I didn't always feel the support that I wanted to, at least from my ex-husband.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to get too much into that, but the lack of support I felt by him is one of the reasons probably why we got divorced.
Yeah. Whereas with me, I've always had a mindset of I love seeing other people win. And even though I might be sarcastic with them every so often, I would never want to tear down or take away from somebody's expanse or jump or whatever they're doing. And when they do something cool or amazing, I am super stoked. It's like, they've whether they've made a bunch of money, bought a new car, got a new house, blew up a business, whatever it is that they've done, I'm like, show me, because I'm eager to learn. Like, how did you do it? What was done? Like, man, this is awesome, and full support, whether they're starting out or moving up. It's all about the experience and the joy in that. And I would say that a big part, one of the pieces, like, even though I grew up in a low vibration area and around a lot of people that didn't understand this, there was one person that really did, well, two people I would say that really kind of did get it. And my Aunt Sally, which she was kind of in some personal development. I didn't really know it at the time, but she'd been around some. And she would always say, no, only you can make you mad. And for whatever reason, I knew it was true. So she would say it, and I'd be like, like little kid, just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I would just believe. But in my mind, it stuck. It always stuck. Only I can make me mad. In other words, if somebody's doing something to me, or I think someone else is doing something to me, it's false. You can do something about it. You have 100% control. And then my grandma, didn't matter what, it doesn't matter who you were or what you did. Like, she just loved everybody. And literally, when, about the time she passed away, at the time, she had a like, family under her. She had 11 kids, a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of married, everything. There was like 287 family members below her, and she would pray for them every night individually. I don't know how. Don't ask me, but that was, she would go to bed and she would go in there and pray for every family member. And I believe that still has an effect today, which was like 2013. So 10 years ago. So there were some things that I think I picked up on, and just really thank God for that, because it's really pushed me to always support and cheer people on. But if you find yourself in a place of trying to understand what this means, there's the concept, the intellectual part, but then there's actual experiencing it. And when you experience true support, you become a giver instead of a taker. And what happens a lot of times when you're in the middle and you're trying to achieve, you're looking at what do I need to do to get this for me? And you're constantly trying to climb your way up the ladder. And when you begin to get that support from everywhere else, yes, you're still climbing up the ladder, but you're also giving out energy to everybody else. And when you begin to love and give, like, as I learned, like, if she has a dream or a desire, and my mind is like, how do we make it happen now? Like, I just want to, like, it's like inspiration for me to be like, oh, we can do that. Let's do that. And we start working towards it. That's exciting for me. I'm serving, I'm helping. What do you think vibrational energy is going to do now? It's massively going to help me as I'm serving somebody else, as I'm supporting other people, as I'm being like, you can do it. Those things not only are giving them fuel, but they're also fueling me in an equal amount. And it's extremely powerful. So one of the things you have to do is, if you want support, start supporting other people. Start doing that for other people in a good, healthy way. If you're finding yourself disrupted, you have to find how to get yourself right first. And that's a conversation between you and God that you need to look at. Or you come in, you get with us, you get into membership, you plug into books, audios, events. Those things are key to helping you get that supportive influence in your mind to changing a dramatic behavior or an identity or becoming what you want, because anybody can do it. Like, no matter what you think or want, you can do it. And just to kind of give a little bit of a catch on this, I've told people this before, and they're like, oh yeah, it would not me, blah blah blah, and they do this like pity party thing, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I don't mean that disrespectful, but what I have to do is I got to slap you a little bit. I got to slap you in the face and be like, stop. We don't play those games around here. If I didn't see your capability, I wouldn't have said it, period. If I didn't think you were capable, actually, if I didn't know you were capable, I wouldn't have said it. So when you downplay it, that is only you ripping the carpet out from underneath yourself. It's you not supporting yourself. So shut up, right? Zip those lips. Don't say those words. Catch yourself and be like, are you capable? That's the question. Are you capable? If that answer in any way, shape, or form is yes, conversation's over. That's all we need to know. Capable? I have no idea how. And often I would tell myself, you know what? I don't know. There's plenty I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what. I just know there's stuff can happen. But this is where I want to go. And humility, I'm too dumb to know the difference. I don't care. I'm just going to move that way. But I'm going to keep moving that way. I'm going to look for the answers and I'm going to keep going. And at the right time, something will happen. I'll see him. It'll work out. Everything's going to be great. And it always does, always. And so catch yourself on any limiting words coming out of your mouth or limiting beliefs or anything else. Ask yourself, are you in an environment of support? If you are not, get in one. You know, we have a membership where that's one of the big deals about the membership is so that you can get the support. So get in there. Start just being there every time, time after time after time after time, and the influence begins to change you energetically, and then you begin to manifest different things, and then you begin winning. And as you win, we celebrate you, and you continue moving forward. So, want to add to that, or did I kind of?
I thought that was great. I celebrate you. Yay!
So, you know, just to give a little more, I'm going to ask you. Do you have any questions for me? We'll say that. I asked you some questions. You got some for me?
I don't know right now off the top of my head.
Top of your head. What's the, you know, like you said there was a level of support. What's the first time you really felt supported? Can you identify one as far as, you know, one of the first times I felt supported was when I got into personal development. And I just kept working and doing. I didn't know anybody. I was kind of in a new environment, and then one of the leaders kind of took me aside and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And asked some questions, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do this," and actually gave me some fuel, and said, "Yeah, let's do this." And I was like, "Oh, okay, good, cool," and then just getting some recognition of what I was doing, and I was crushing it for what I was doing and just being recognized for it. And I'm not a big recognition type person, but it is nice when you know there's somebody of high level success that sees you and is like, yeah, good job. That's all it took. Just like you did that. All right, good job. That's all I need. Just a little confirmation once in a while from an upbringing that didn't confirm much of anything. So like, was there ever like a changing moment as you moved through your course of life that where it was like, wow, this feels amazing?
I don't know if I ever like had a specific defining moment, but I just thinking about it, I think that I felt very supported. I remember at an event.
Which event?
The Tony Robbins event.
The UPW or Date with
I
Destiny?
think Date with Destiny. I think it was the very first event that I went to.
Was the Date with Destiny?
Was Date with Destiny. And I felt really supported at there. It was all like a whole new world.
Yeah. Like I get to be me, really? Like, and this is how I'm supposed to be. Like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. It was the first time I had already at that point been surrounding myself with people who had what I wanted, but that was the first time I really surrounded myself with those people because it was 6 days, 6 nights, 6 days, 6 nights, right? Of total immersion around people that were just like, whoa, high energy, everything.
Massive energetic changes happening inside. Like, there's so many things. And that particular event has been scientifically proven to dramatically change people's brain structures and vibration and everything. So it's a big deal.
Now I feel so supported now just by everybody that shows up in my life. Because I know that everybody that enters my world comes in either to teach me something or I'm to teach them something. And just recognizing how like the universe supports me, I feel supported all the time.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's also the idea or shift that happens, you know, like I remember for a lot of years having a lot of thoughts in my mind of saying, I believe this is how it works, but nobody around me understands this. And just like kind of being like this, there's just more to life than what I'm seeing. And then finally stepping into the world of personal development and getting around these other people. And it was like, it's exactly what I was talking about. This is what I've been thinking about for years, you know, and just being like, this is home for me, you know, and just made so much more sense. And so if you've got big ideas and big dreams, find your people, you know, go find the people that are on the same page and working with you. And, you know, I've had a lot of people I've been with on journeys that have gone different directions, people that have come with me, gone different directions, and people that are every day coming in more and more with us to find that support and find that next move and go with us, continuing forward. So if you're looking for some level of support or want to know more, you know, reach out to us, you know, look us up on Facebook. You know, we're both on there. Jen's the more active social media person, so you can follow her. And then we have a membership, and you can get a membership. There's be a link attached, and there's deals right now as we're building it out. You can get ridiculously good deals on that, and you get access to us, a level of coaching that typically would cost hundreds of dollars a month, you know, if not thousands, for different things. And you can get it for like really, really cheap. So might be something to look at so that you can plug in and get that influence and maybe get some one-on-one interaction to get you moving forward. But I mean, support is such a big deal of having somebody there that if you need to bounce something off of, you can, and you know they're not going to tear you down. They're going to say, yeah, let's just take a step, let's move, let's do this. And then as you do things, you don't have to justify, you don't have to say, well, this is why I did this. It's like, I don't care why you did it. Like, what was the result? Okay, cool, that's what's next. So what'd you find? Well, let's do this, let's do all forward moving things. So enjoy it, have fun with life. We encourage you. We know you can do it. Have a good time. All right. See you on the next one.